If you're watching this, you already know that football doesn't always reward noise, reputation, or emotion. It rewards understanding. The kind of understanding that sees the match unfolding before the first whistle even blows. Today's fixtures are deceptive. Some look predictable, others feel risky at first glance. But once you slow everything down and focus on structure, mentality, and match rhythm, the picture becomes clearer. These are games decided by timing, patience, and how teams react when the plan is tested. What makes today's lineup powerful is that every match follows a logical football story. Nothing here relies on miracles or chaos. These outcomes are shaped by how teams manage space, pressure, and momentum across 90 minutes. If you stay with this breakdown until the end, you won't just hear scorelines. You'll feel how each game breathes, where it tightens, where it opens up, and why the final result makes sense long before the scoreboard confirms it. Let's begin with a matchup defined by control and authority. Man City vs Wolves. Correct score 2-0. Prediction: Man City win. This fixture is built around dominance through discipline. From the opening moments, Man City approach the match with calm authority, prioritizing control over chaos. There is no rush, no unnecessary forcing at the play, just steady territorial dominance. Wolves arrive with defensive intent, sitting deep and compact, hoping to slow the game and limit damage. Early on, this approach works to a degree. The shape remains tight, and clear chances are restricted. But the problem with defending for long stretches is that pressure accumulates silently. Man City move the ball patiently, pulling defenders out of position inch by inch. The game becomes a test of concentration rather than physicality. One lapse, one missed step, and the structure bends. The first goal arrives not as a shock, but as a release. Once the breakthrough happens, the dynamic shifts completely. Wolves are forced to step higher, and that's where the control becomes even more visible. With more space available, Man City increase the tempo selectively. They don't overwhelm the game, they manage it. Every possession has purpose, every movement stretches the opposition just a little more. The second goal feels inevitable rather than dramatic. It comes from sustained pressure and intelligent positioning rather than desperation. From that point forward, the match settles into a rhythm that suits the home side perfectly. Defensively, Man City remain composed. Wolves struggle to turn possession into real threat, often finding themselves crowded out before danger develops. The clean sheet never feels under threat because the structure behind the ball remains intact. By the final whistle, the scoreline reflects a professional performance, controlled, efficient, and disciplined. 2 goals, no reply, and a match handled from start to finish. Bournemouth vs Liverpool. Correct score 1-2. Prediction: Liverpool win or draw. This is the type of game where intensity defines everything. From the opening minutes, Bournemouth look determined to impose themselves, pressing high and playing with aggression, especially in the early phases. Liverpool, however, approach the match with experience and patience. They don't panic under pressure. Instead, they allow the early storm to pass, knowing that spaces will appear as energy levels fluctuate. The first half is competitive and open. Bournemouth push forward with intent, creating moments of danger and keeping the contest alive. Their commitment pays off with a goal that energizes the stadium and shifts momentum. But that momentum is fragile. Once Liverpool settle into the game, their transitions become sharper and more decisive. The equalizer arrives through timing rather than force, catching Bournemouth during a moment of imbalance. At 1-1, the match opens up further. Bournemouth continue to attack, but that ambition leaves gaps that are difficult to cover consistently. Liverpool remain patient, choosing the right moments to accelerate rather than rushing the play. The winning goal comes from composure under pressure. With Bournemouth stretched and chasing the game, Liverpool capitalize, turning control into a decisive advantage. In the closing stages, Bournemouth push forward desperately, creating tension until the final moments. But Liverpool manage the game intelligently, limiting clear chances and slowing the tempo when needed. By full time, the scoreline reflects a hard-fought contest where resilience and composure make the difference. Liverpool do enough to secure a win or at least avoid defeat, exactly as the flow of the match suggests. Bayern Munich vs Augsburg. Correct score 2-0. Prediction: Bayern Munich win and over 1.5 goals. This match is defined by authority through structure. From kickoff, Bayern Munich impose themselves with confidence, controlling possession and dictating tempo across the pitch. Augsburg adopt a defensive posture early, aiming to stay compact and absorb pressure. For a time, the approach works, as Bayern focus on circulating the ball and probing rather than forcing immediate breakthroughs. But sustained pressure always tells. As the game progresses, Augsburg's defensive line is stretched wider, and spaces begin to open between units. Bayern identify these gaps and exploit them with precision. The first goal changes the rhythm of the match. Augsburg are forced to rethink their approach, stepping higher in search of a response. That decision creates more room behind the defense, which Bayern use intelligently. The second goal arrives with calm inevitability. There is no rush, no panic, just controlled build-up and clinical execution. At that point, the outcome feels settled. Defensively, Bayern remain disciplined throughout. Augsburg struggle to generate clear opportunities, often finding themselves blocked or forced into low-percentage attempts. As the match winds down, Bayern prioritize control over spectacle. Possession is managed carefully, and the tempo is reduced to protect the lead without sacrificing authority. The final whistle confirms what was evident throughout: a comfortable home win, multiple goals, and a clean sheet achieved through structure rather than excess. Villarreal vs Real Madrid. Correct score 1-2. Prediction: Real Madrid win or draw. This fixture carries tension from the first minute. Villarreal approach the game with confidence, especially on home soil, pressing aggressively and looking to unsettle Real Madrid early. The opening exchanges are intense. Villarreal move the ball quickly, creating pressure and testing defensive organization. Their efforts are rewarded with a goal that lifts the tempo and belief across the pitch. But Real Madrid respond with composure rather than panic. Instead of chasing the game recklessly, they slow the tempo, regain shape, and begin to assert control through positioning and experience. The equalizer arrives as a momentum shift rather than a sudden strike. Once level, the match becomes a tactical contest, with Villarreal continuing to attack and Real Madrid choosing moments carefully. As the game progresses, spaces appear. Villarreal's ambition leaves gaps that are difficult to cover consistently. Real Madrid exploit one such moment, turning pressure into a decisive lead. From there, the match tightens. Villarreal push forward with urgency, but Real Madrid manage the game intelligently, limiting risk while remaining dangerous on the break. The final stages are tense, but discipline prevails. Real Madrid hold their structure, see out the match, and secure a result that reflects their ability to adapt and control key moments. Whether through victory or resilience, the outcome fits the flow of the contest perfectly. West Ham vs Sunderland. Correct score 1-2. Prediction: Sunderland win or draw. This matchup is driven by hunger and belief. Sunderland arrive with nothing to protect and everything to gain, while West Ham approach the game with expectation and pressure. Early on, West Ham attempt to control possession, pushing forward and dictating tempo. Sunderland, however, are comfortable without the ball, staying compact and waiting for the right moments to break. The game opens up when Sunderland strike first. The goal shifts the psychological balance, forcing West Ham to chase and commit more bodies forward. As West Ham press higher, the match becomes more open. Sunderland take advantage of transitions, creating danger whenever possession turns over. Their second goal arrives during one such moment, punishing overcommitment. West Ham respond with urgency and manage to pull one back, reigniting belief and pushing the tempo higher. The final stages become intense, with pressure mounting and attacks coming in waves. Despite the pressure, Sunderland remain organized. They defend with discipline, clear lines effectively, and manage the game intelligently in the closing minutes. By full time, the scoreline reflects a match shaped by efficiency and resilience. Sunderland do enough to secure a win or at least avoid defeat, rewarding their structure and belief. Final recap. Let's lock everything in clearly one last time. Man City vs Wolves ends 2-0, with a controlled home win and a clean sheet. Bournemouth vs Liverpool finishes 1-2, with Liverpool securing a win or draw through composure. Bayern Munich vs Augsburg closes 2-0, delivering both the win and goals. Villarreal vs Real Madrid ends 1-2, with Real Madrid taking a win or draw from a tough away test. West Ham vs Sunderland finishes 1-2, as Sunderland secure a win or draw through discipline and efficiency. These outcomes aren't about hype or reputation. They are about how matches breathe, shift, and settle over 90 minutes. If you stayed all the way to the end, you're part of a group that understands football beyond headlines. Keep supporting, keep watching closely, and keep trusting the process. Share this with fellow fans, stay ready for the next fixtures, and respect to everyone who watches football with insight rather than impulse. Until the next breakdown, stay locked in.